time to check in with our friend Andy Mattingly today for our Smart Money Minute via Zoom. Well, because you know what it looks like outside.
Yeah.
Andy, welcome to the show. Have there been any snowball fights at Forum Credit Union yet today?
No snowball fights yet, but there's still lots of time left.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there could be one very soon.
You
yeah.
never know. Andy, you're always keeping us informed with some of the best financial advice. Today we're talking about becoming a smarter investor, starting with the basics. So, Andy, what advice do you have for us today?
Well, I think it's really important that people understand that sometimes their fear of the market is really just because they don't have a good understanding of what all it takes to be a savvy investor. Because, if you just get a little bit of information, you can avoid some of the big mistakes that people make. You can maybe maximize your returns. But above all, you'll feel less stressed about your portfolio. It's kind of one of those things, the more you know, the better you'll feel about things, especially the way the last month kind of turned out with a lot of people's investment accounts.
That is very true. Andy, I'm hearing you say less stress, and that resonates with me. We all need less stress. So give us some information that we can use. What are the basics we need to understand?
Well, the very first one is to make sure that you're always looking at your investments from a long-term view. So you're not investing today for money that you're going to need tomorrow. So don't keep looking at your account on your mobile app every day to see the markets go up and down. That's just creating stress you don't need. Remember, it's a long view. Markets, and your investments, if you're doing everything right, it's going to work out for you. And then, you also got to remember those things, risk versus reward. If you want a higher reward, then there's going to be more risk, which means there's going to be more fluctuation in your portfolio. So expect that. And then the final thing is that you can do to kind of make yourself be less nervous is make sure you diversify. Have some riskier investments, have some very safe investments so that overall you're going to come out pretty good.
Andy, are there any mistakes that can be really detrimental to our success in investing, and how can we avoid those?
Yeah, well, one of the biggest things is that people try to do is they try to time the market. So it's one of those things where they're like, okay, well, the market's going up, I'm going to put money in. And when the market starts going down, they think they can take it out. But what happens is they end up selling at the lowest point and buying at the highest point. So don't try to time the market. Just have that regular investments and, keep going forward with everything. The other thing that really started happening a lot last year, but it's really happened before that, is chasing the hot stock. Your favorite podcaster or favorite person you follow on social media tweets about a stock and then everyone jumps on it. But you're probably already too late to catch the big returns. So don't chase that hot stock. And then that kind of comes back to the last point is don't follow the wrong advice. Make sure you're getting advice from someone who's trusted and doesn't have a stake in whatever they're talking about is going to do. So if you can do all those things, you can avoid most of the mistakes that people make.
That's a really good tip about wanting to make sure you're following someone who's just has your best interest in mind. With that in mind, Andy, where should viewers go to just increase their knowledge about investing?
Well, there's a lot of good sources that you can go to. There's a lot of thought leaders in the investment area. If you have a 401k, whoever sponsors that, they usually have good information you can get from them because you can ask more from that. If you have an advisor, that's a good place to go. If you don't have anyone, we offer advice services at Forum Credit Union, but it's always just finding someone that knows your situation because everybody's situation is different. If the three of us were to sit down, we would all have different goals and different things that we needed because we have different plans for what we want to do in life. And that's why, that's the tip that I try to tell everyone is find someone you're comfortable with that understands your situation.
Andy, thank you. I know we have your information on the screen, but before you go, Ryan and I actually have not one but two questions for you.
Pressing questions.
Very pressing.
Okay.
Question number one, I need to know about the basketballs and footballs I'm seeing behind you. Is this like signed gear?
Some of those are signed, yes, basketballs.
Nice.
And footballs.
Yes. I saw the Pacers one up in the corner there, and I was like, look at you, Andy. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Question number two now.
The second most pressing question, so we just had Jimmy Walker on the show, and he had a question for everybody. How do you feel about the Beatles, Andy?
I do like the Beatles, most of their work.
Okay.
But they're not necessarily my favorite band from that time, but I do like them.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
Okay, we'll take it.
We'll accept that answer.
I think Jimmy will accept it as well.
Great.
Andy, thank you so much.
Okay.
Stay safe out there, Andy. Thanks.